What's up YouTube? Patrick from Dual Dimensions. Another video. This video I'll be going over the cards that we feel need to be inside of a successful Esper artifact deck. To start out with, I'll just go over some of the lands that I run inside of my deck. I run a blue, white, and black deck. Right now the only land that I have with me is a Drowned Catacomb. Comes into play tapped unless you control a swamp or island, and basically tap it and get either a swamp or island. I also run a couple Fetid Heats and Wonderbrine Hubs, even though it's for Merfolks. They still give you a choice of blue or white once you waited a turn to play it. Some of the commons that I have inside of this deck, they're not the best, but they have good combos if you use them together. So I'd like to go over a couple of those. The Tidehollow Strix, blue and black mana, 2/1 flyer death touch, pretty good for anti-air, or if you want to go ahead and swing for the 2, since you can plan kind of early for the 2. Especially if you run multiple Drowned Catacombs, it'd be easy to get them on the field. Ornithopters, these guys are very useful in a lot of different kinds of combos. Cost 0 flyer and 0/2, so they're very easy to get onto the field. Windrite Mages cost 3, 1 of each element for the Esper deck, which is white, blue, black. 2/2 lifelink, and if artifact is into the graveyard while she's on the field, she gains lifelink. Tower Gargoyles are very, very efficient creatures. Cost 1 of anything, and then 1 of each type in the Esper. 4/4 flyer. I think they're pretty good for how much they cost, and they're really good because if you have multiple ones on the field, you can play them on the 4th turn. 5th turn you'll be swinging in the air. If you can build up a big mana source and you can have multiple ones in the same turn played, next turn you'll be swinging in the air for a lot of damage. Filigree Sages, I believe they cost 4, and they are a 2/3. Pay 3, you can untap target artifact. The Filigree Sages are good for things such as Metallurgian, where you need to pay 1 and tap to regenerate target artifact, or if a monster that you just swung with has higher defense and you need him to block for next turn, pay 3, untap it, and he can attack and block at the same time. He's a really good combo with Ornithopter in a combo that I'll show you pretty soon. Now on to the more commons. Never mind. Tainted Sigil costs 3. You can tap it and gain life equal to all the life lost by all players. So it can either, if you lose a huge amount of life at the end of your turn, you can gain it back. Or if an opponent lost a huge amount of life, you can tap, sacrifice, and gain all the life that they lost. So it's a win-win situation. Ethereum Sculptors are staple for any kind of Esper or artifact deck. Cost 2, and they make all your artifacts cost 1 less. And they have pretty good toughness for how much they cost, which is 2. Puppet Conjurer, I like to run a couple of these inside my deck. Cost 2, 1/2. If you pay a island, you can tap it, make a 0/1 Homunculus token. I like to use these to block, and they go away at the beginning of your next upkeep. You have to sacrifice them. I run an Enigma Sphinx. We'll get into the rares now. An Enigma Sphinx costs 7, 5/4 flyer. When it's put into the graveyard, it goes instead 3rd card on the top of your deck. And I like to use it since the high mana cost. It has Cascade, which will allow me to play some of my higher costing spells for free. My Time Sieve costs 2. Tap it, sacrifice 5 artifacts. You could sacrifice this also. It is an artifact. And you take an extra turn after that one. After this one. A Skill Borrower costs 3, 1/3. And you play with the top card of your deck revealed, and she gets the she gets the ability of that card as long as it's an artifact or it's a creature. So in an Esper artifact deck, almost every single one is going to be that, unless you run into some of your spells, which just stay at the top. They don't get discarded. Master Transmuter, one of the cards I was talking about in an earlier combo with Ornithopter. She costs 4, 1/2, and if you pay an island and tap her, you can return an artifact from your hand, or from the field to your hand, and play an artifact from your hand. I'll show you the combo with her once I get to the next card that I'm trying to show you for the combo. Master Ethereum, I have the foil version. You can get him in the Esper artifact starter deck. He's not too bad for the fact that he only costs 3, and his power and toughness is dependent on how many artifacts you control, and he also gives all other artifacts +1/+1. which help with the tower gargoyles. If you have multiple ones in the air, they'll be swinging for 5s every turn. Brilliant Ultimatum, not really much to say. The ultimatum for Esper, and you just take the top 5 cards of your deck. The opponent divides them in 2. One pile goes to the graveyard, the other one gets played for free. Punish Ignorance, I have the foil version for this card. I think I picked it up just in a regular booster pack. Cost 4, counter a target spell, and also they lose 3 life and you gain 3 life, and it's instant, so I don't think it's too bad. Open the Vaults, good combo with Time Sieve, and once you sacrifice the 5 artifacts for Time Sieve, you can play the Time Vault if you have it in your hand or if you draw it. Although the opponent also gets their artifacts and enchantments back, most likely you'll have more important ones in your graveyard since that's the deck you're running, and you'll end up just getting all of your creatures back that you sacrificed for Time Sieve, and probably ones that you lost earlier on in the game. Darksteel Colossus, the combo that goes well with Master Transmuter, Filigree Sages, and Ornithopter. These 4 right here, I like to run these as a combo. Quick combo, throw down Ornithopter, turn 1 if you have them, cost 0. Later on, throw out Filigree Sages or Master Transmuter, whichever one comes first. Pay the 1, tap Master Transmuter, return Ornithopter to your hand, and play Darksteel Colossus for 1 island. He's an 11/11 indestructible trample, and when he is sent to the graveyard, he goes into your deck instead. If you have, and then after which, you can play Ornithopter again. If you have something else you would like to throw out, such as the Enigma Sphinx I showed earlier, pay 3 on Filigree Sages, untap her, pay 1, tap her, return the Ornithopter, and then play the artifact, and then play Ornithopter again. So those 2 go really well together. I only run 1 Mythic inside of this deck, cost 8, 6/6. I use them a lot with the Ornithopter combo that I like to use. 6/6 right here, Sphinx of the Steel Wind, and it has flying, first strike, protection from green and red, vigilance, and lifelink. So that's an excellent card if you're just going to play it for 0 by using the Ornithopter combo. I'm Patrick from Dual Dimensions, and that was the Esper deck review.